You are a boss monster.
Build your deadly dungeon and crush the heroes, right? Yeah,
Those
crush
puny heroes.
puny heroes.
All right, welcome back to the Board Game Closet. My name's Jimmy.
I'm Rod.
If you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel,
Do it now.
what are you waiting on? We have great videos every Thursday, and you can be notified of those videos to be the first to watch.
Why not do it?
Do it. So today we are checking out Boss Monster.
Right.
This is a game that pays homage to the video games of old. Those 80s, early 90s, Nintendo Entertainment System, Atari-style games with that pixelated artwork.
Right. 8-bit.
Even the box cover looks like an old school Nintendo game. And in this one, though, instead of playing the hero, they flip the script.
Right.
And you are the villain. You get to pick a villain card,
Right.
and you are the boss. This is a boss monster inside of a dungeon. And during the game, you are going to be playing room cards that are going to lay down and turn into a dungeon that a hero is going to go through. And as they go through here, they're going to be dealt damage until they are killed. And if you kill them, then you collect them. And the first person to get 10 of these
Wins the game.
wins the game. Now, if you can't defeat them, let's say they somehow make it through your dungeon, then they give you a wound. And this goes underneath your card and shows that you got a wound. If you ever get 5 of those,
Dead.
you're out of the game. On a turn, or at the beginning of a round, they are going to reveal a certain number of heroes based off of the number of players. So let's say we're playing a 3-player game, they would reveal these. At the bottom of each one of these cards, or at the top, it shows a symbol for that person, this type of hero. So here's a warrior type with a sword, a mage with a book, and a thief with the money bag. Now, at the bottom of your dungeon cards, you have things that are going to be attracting them. So
Exactly.
this is like the plunder of the dungeon that's going to be attracting this hero to you. So once everybody has played their room cards, because that's going to be a round of the turn, everybody plays a room card out onto the table. Then you go around and you look and you say, okay, who has the most mage symbols? So you look down and you say, hey, Rod's got the most. Okay, this guy's going to go to his dungeon. Who's got the most thief cards? Okay, they're going to come to me. Who's got the most warrior cards or whatever, the ordinary heroes? Fighter cards, I'm sorry. And so you lay those out and you say, okay, this is where those guys are going. Now, if you ever tie, then the hero doesn't come to you yet.
Right.
And it comes a later round, which could be bad.
Right.
Because you could load up with all of these heroes that are going to try to attack you. Now, that's not really bad if you can defeat them all, but if you don't defeat them all, then these guys make it through your dungeon and give you all these wonderful wounds. During the game, you can play spell cards that could either help you. It might be something like double the amount of damage in this room, or add 3 damage to this room, or something like that. Or the spell card could go against somebody else, and you could say, forget room power this time. It's not as strong. And that's good and bad. It's good for you because it can make these guys die, or it's bad because they could play this card on your strongest room, and now every single one of these dudes make it through and win you. So that's the only other thing. There are item cards that you can get that attach to heroes, and that helps the hero, but if you defeat them, then now it helps you. And so now later on, you get to use that item card for something. So in all of our reviews, we like to do a simple 1-die rating. Should you buy it, play it, or hate it? Green means go buy this game and add it to your collection. White means maybe you wouldn't buy it, but you definitely play it. And then red means you wouldn't buy it and you wouldn't play it because you hate it. So we get our die out and we reveal it's a green. 2 greens. Oh my goodness.
That just doesn't happen.
2 greens. So what we're going to do is we're going to spend the rest of our review talking about why we think you should buy this game and add it to your collection.
So the game itself is, it's going on a theme, right? And it does a very, very good job of that.
Very good job.
I mean, everything in here has got that 8-bit look to it. And the neat thing about every single card has got some type of reference to something real out there. For instance, with the character that I am Dr. Timebender. So for those Doctor Who fans, this is who that'd be referencing. But every one of them referenced something from Lord of the Rings or whatever. It's just, it's if you can think of it, it's a nerd thing, it's probably in here.
Napoleon Dynamite's in here.
Yeah, that's right. There's so many awesome things in there, and it's hard to figure out because there's just so many of them in there.
The thematics to it are really good to me. That I play this room card, and then the person's going to go through it. You have to play it in a certain order. So some of the cards play off of another. If the card to the left or the card to the left of this does something to it, They also have advanced rooms that you can play that play down over top of another card and take its place and give you a better ability. I really like the thematic idea that this guy comes into the Hatchings Horde,
right,
and has to fight it. Does he make it through? And then he goes into Madman's Manor,
right,
and then the Imp Temple. There's all these things. It makes it fun, and if you play along with that, it's pretty neat.
That's the whole thing. It's like with any game, as long as you play along with read off the card and what's happening each time, it makes it's very entertaining. It's a nice game. My son's crazy because he's bought all three of them, obviously, but he loves it. But I'm glad he's got it because I've very much enjoyed the game.
The negatives to me, there are a few. The spell cards are good and bad, like I said. Mm-hmm. I don't like the fact that you can play a spell against me, and if I don't happen to have a spell card in my hand because I didn't get one previously, then I'm kind of like, okay, you did that to me. We played one time and you knocked me out. Totally knocked me out of the game because I didn't have anything and the card was played that took away my best room. And here come all these thieves, So you kind of have to balance this out. If you see a whole bunch of people out there, you're tempted. The greed sets in because you're like, look at all those people I could get in this one round. But if something goes wrong, and it will, because your opponents are going to play cards to stop you from getting all of those people.
Right.
So you kind of have to balance that out.
Sure. I mean, that part aside, because I know that Jimmy carried it on into the next game and got me, I'm sure. But the thing is, I mean, all in all, as card games go, this one plays a little different than most of the card games we have. The artwork's good. I really just can't find a negative with the game. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I do definitely think that it's worth agreeing.
Yeah, totally. So, some card games are just card games, but I feel like this one transcends that a little.
Oh, yeah.
Because it pulls you into the theme. I'm not just playing a card onto the table, but it means something.
And if you look at, just the artwork on the instruction manual, looks just like what those games that we would play on Nintendo, right?
Take me back, man.
Exactly.
Take me back.
Yep.
All right. So that's our review of Boss Monster. We've got a lot more reviews on our website, boardgamecloset.com. And there you can also find a link to our podcast that we put out every single week.
Yeah,
we're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all of those. And as always,
support your local hobby shops, guys.
Do it.
Do it.